Alright, does anyone remember why we're going to be building a portfolio site, a website about us? Um, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, hey Brent, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Um,
I don't have any of the background on what we're doing here, so I'm just
alright.
listening in for now.
So I'm guessing, everyone else doesn't. So basically, just to recap, um, when you guys go to apply to colleges, jobs, internships, or anything like that, a website can be just as powerful as a resume in representing yourself. So knowing how to make a website, first off, is a great skill set to have, but also it helps you show employers or colleges, the administrative offices, what your skills are, background, if you did any sports, what your hobbies are, interests, and really let them get to know you when they're making their decisions. So that's basically the big picture. So the problem is we need to represent ourselves with a portfolio, with a resume, and our mission is to create a website that does that for us. So I'm gonna show a few examples of intern websites. And actually this one is John's website, and we have like a template for when we start web design to teach, and then we evolve further as we develop the skills, and then we do it from scratch, and then get into the database driven side. So on John's site, he has a few things about him: his goals, quotes, heroes, projects he's done, which I think if any college administrator was looking at this, they'd let him in. Lunar landing and stuff like that. Places he's been, adventures he's been on, songs he wrote using QuickTime. I never update anything until it doesn't work. Education, then resume. So, alright, and then Travis is an intern who he made three different sites, two which are similar and one that's different. So throughout the years, you can see like the evolution. So just to go through, he built his own computer before, like a gaming rig, and he had like other computers, just showing that he's tech savvy, tech specs, skill sets, favorite games, instruments he's played, and then on his other site, that he built, he has like everything right up front, his different skill sets, graphics he's created. He integrated a Twitter feed, and just to keep going, he has a cool example with like an animated GIF image on the homepage. This one's database driven. So Val, who's one of our interns, she's at MIT right now. If we go to joke of the day, it will dish out a different joke per day. So like tomorrow, if you come back here, there's gonna be a different joke, and she outlines her hobbies. I think this is database driven. The photography page about her, a way to contact her, and I'm gonna pass the ball to Daniel if he's on because he has a really cool database driven website, I believe. Daniel, you there?
I'm here. Well,
All right. Can you
I
share
think,
your website with everyone?
yeah.
All right,
But
awesome.
Brent,
Yes.
do you have the email for the iPage account?
Oh, to log into iPage, let me put that in chat to you. I think actually, let me just go to yourself slash dev and grab that. Go to yourself dev wiki. So after we build our websites, we upload them to we have an iPage server. That's a web host we have where all the interns can upload their projects. So I'm just gonna grab the account info for Daniel real quick so he can show us his. Actually, it looks like the wiki is It's giving me a page not found. That's not fun. So. Okay, so the wiki is down. I think it's I can go to the intern testimonials page and grab the URL if you remember the slash whatever it was afterwards your subfolder. Alright, so the URL to get to the main iPage is this. And then whatever your subfolder, if you remember. I'm not sure, it doesn't give us a directory of it. But not to hold up. What I'll do is, Daniel, you try and find that if you can. The wiki looks like it's down. If you could pass me back the ball, I'm gonna get straight into the cartooning PowerPoint just to show how to make an animated GIF. And guys, don't be afraid to step in and say like if you remember the prom mission, if you have a question about anything I'm saying.
It looks like I found it.
Okay, awesome. So I'll pass you back the ball.
Sorry for the delay.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, so can you see all? Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so yeah, this is my website, and this is made with a template. And what you will see here are some videos about what I have been doing and my projects. You can see here you can open different videos. Also, some of the but we do our best. And then in the I have this little form where you can actually contact me when you can put your name, your email, something, a message for me, and when you click send, it will send a message to my email account. Right now, it's not working because I haven't updated that, but it was working before, and I will make it work again. And yeah,
All right, thanks. That's a very cool site.
that's my website. Okay, so I'll let you go again.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
So, with build it yourself. We definitely believe in like the functionality, how things are programmed, how they work. But we also believe in making them visually appealing. Like the best ideas you have, if they're not presented well, no one's really gonna pay attention. There's even some really bad ideas that are presented well that sell amazing, like Pet Rocks back, I forget what year, like 80s or something. And people sold polished rocks and they made a killing off them, and that's just a rock. That's just all about the presentation. So on the homepage of the site, if we have a really, really cool graphic that's animated, it will definitely catch people's attention. But we can't just leave it like the ordinary way. So for instance, if you're going to make an eyeball, eyes are very expressive. They're one of the most important part of any character. And if you see the one on the right, it's just a dot, kind of like we would see in a smiley face. It gets the job done, but it's not really that cool. If you break up the eye into different sections, you can layer shapes on top of each other in PowerPoint. You can get some really nice effects, and also if you do a gradient, it makes the the eyeball almost looks rounded, like it's 3D. So yeah, this side says exaggerate the eyes of the soul of your character. So pretty much if someone's angry and they would normally have a brow like this, maybe you make it extremely exaggerated and you want to make it like extra thick, have just really exaggerated features. That's not a good example of that, but an eyebrow will never go that high, but you definitely can tell that this guy is angry. You can just duplicate this and flip it. So as we go down, you can just make 2 dots in a circle, or you can create some really nice 3D effects. By layering the shapes, you can begin to get a sense of depth. Let's keep going. Like a nose, for instance. Some people might stop with this. But in this example, you see by using 3 shapes, you're able to create nostrils as well. And then if you want to animate, make sure that as you design your character, there's plenty of pieces. Because with this, to make the character talk, change expression, that'd be very difficult since it's just dots. This one has different layers, so you can easily rotate and move pieces around. And you can see how you can really capture the different emotions just by changing the eyes, the mouth, the nose. Alright, so to give you guys a quick example of how to use this in PowerPoint. PowerPoint comes with some vector drawing tools. Actually, before I go on, does anyone have any questions or comments about the cartooning slideshow? Can you guys still hear me okay? Am I still online?
Do you have any questions?
Alright, so I'm gonna keep going, assuming I'm connected. Daniel and Matt, can you guys hear me? Am I still on?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. So you guys are just get it all, no questions. Just making sure that I'm not going too fast or anything. Okay, so the vector drawing tools. On PowerPoint, on the home page, you'll see that there's different shape tools right here. You can use basic shapes, but you get a very basic result. But if you use the drawing tools, you can get some really nice, cool effects. So if you go to there, click on curve, you can create unique shapes. If I don't close it by accident, I can right click and go to edit points. And I can zoom in and edit that. You always want to end it where you started it, because if you don't, close path, there we go. If you don't, it's not going to fill in right. Sometimes you get lucky, but just as good practice, it's better to make sure it ends where it began. Then you can right click the line you just drew, format shape. You can do solid fill, But if you do gradient fill, it's gonna look a lot cooler. Alright. Thanks for putting that in the chat. I just making sure my connection is good. There may be lag too here and there, so I just want to make sure that everyone got everything. So then you can choose a preset color template, and then you can modify it. So under gradient, you can just select any template. Then you can change it, radical, linear, rectangular. They all do different kind of effects of how the light flows. See rectangular, you almost see it come into like a hard 90-degree corner. I like to do this one, and then I like to kind of shift it around. Now the middle's too bright, and then it gets dark and light. So to fix this color palette, I can go down to gradient stops, and I can modify these. So you see that's the center one. I can go to more colors. You can go to custom colors, and then select whichever color I think will match best. Sometimes you have more than you actually want in the palette. If you have too many gradient stops and it's just too much to edit. So sometimes I just go through and I'll delete a few. Stop position, you can see kind of controls the direction it flows. And then that looks like a nice smooth gradient. I can keep going with that, but just to keep going in the presentation. Format shape, I can go to line color. Choose, I like to do black outline sometimes to highlight, but anything on the inside, sometimes I don't put colors, I'll just do drop shadows. That's up to you guys with your own style. So I might do shadow, and I think that gives a cool effect. But there's tons of different ways to make cartoons. So do what you enjoy. Now for the eyes, I can create a crazy looking shape that wouldn't be able to be done with the regular tools, the regular shapes, versus that. I can go to edit points if I want to change anything around. Right click it, format. I'm going to do line color, no line, fill. I'm going to do a gradient fill, white, shadow. I'll do a drop shadow. Give it a cool, flat 3D look going on there. Then what you can do too is this is where maybe you do use a few of these type of shapes, just for the pupils. Format the shape, fill effect, gradient, line color none. Duplicate this, and I can do like a white dot, kind of like the gloss of the eye. And you can give it transparency on the slider to give, an effect. Now from here, like the trick you saw with the nose, you can make a few different, layers. I'm not gonna go through and do all of the lines and shadows and stuff like that. I'll just do a shadow on this one so it pops off the background. And I can just duplicate, shrink it down a little bit, right click, format, grab the one in the back, duplicate that one. And you see, now I have like a really 3D looking nose. I can just, to duplicate the eye, just so you guys see that, there's a thing called grouping in PowerPoint. If I try and scale these individually, or rotate them individually, sometimes it doesn't work. For some reason it is, which is great, but that's not always the case. So Control G will group, or you can right click and you can group. Now, if I duplicate this, Control C, Control V, or I can do right click, copy, paste. I can just flip this around by dragging the little square. And I think that's enough for you guys to get the idea of how to use these tools. Does anyone have any questions on how to use those?
No, it's okay.
Alright, awesome. Thanks. So what I want to do as an activity is does anybody want to share their screen and go through this so everyone can watch and kind of see the steps? Only if you guys feel comfortable. If not, I can
I can do it if you want.
Alright, awesome, thank you. I'm gonna pass you
Yes.
the ball to share the screen. In the top left, it's share, and then I think it's my screen.
Share my screen. Am I sharing?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. I am.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a human type figure. You can have fun, make an animal or favorite game character,
Where?
cartoon character.
Okay, so I take this. I do it like that. Maybe.
The drawing tools, if you want, like the curve line, is the vector drawing tool. So if you want to make unique shapes, you can use that one. And every time you left click, it makes an anchor point and it bends around that point.
Okay, it's confusing.
If you make any mistakes, you can hit backspace and it will undo the last click. And if you double click, it finishes.
Okay. Okay. I found it, but I will do it again. Oh. Um. Oh. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what we're doing right now too, like what we'll do is basically just get enough and then show you guys how to animate, and then during the week we can work on making something like really elaborate. Because I don't think we'll have enough time within an hour to make a full cartoon animation for the homepage.
Okay. I keep going. Sorry.
Actually, if you could pass me back the ball, I'll show the next step, just so that everyone kind of has the idea of what the next step is while we work on this.
Okay. How do I do it?
Click the, I think stop sharing. If you go up to the top, and then under participants, if you right click, you can pass
Okay,
the
stop.
ball back to me.
Stop sharing. And is that it?
Yes, perfect. So basically, like what you were doing, layering them, doing the different colors and stuff, it's perfect. But to keep in mind, like once we have like more time to actually work on it during the week, just to do like some cool colors, different effects like drop shadows and stuff, which I know you'd add in probably like afterwards. For this guy, to animate him, I'm just gonna add in a few more small things. Maybe a mouth just so we can see if that moves, and oh, that's a flatline tool. It's I'm now the let me just see. John just left. I know sometimes when he leaves the audio. Alright, so John just left the meeting and he logged in as the same user, so he was host of the meeting. So when he logged out, the audio it like reset to not having the conference on. So if you guys can hear me perfect, if you can't talk or can't hear me like in the chat, just you'll see how to get on.
Looks like everything's working on my end.
Okay, awesome. Alright, so let me just let's do something random just so we don't waste time. I just do green lips. I'll use the same things for eyebrows just for time's sake. Not to Okay, so now if I want to animate this, we use a tool called MySpace GIF Maker, and that tool will take PNG or JPEG images and basically just act like a flipbook. So when we animate, what we like to do is, let's say this is my whole character, body and all. We can put a square in the background basically as a guide, right click, send to back, and you kind of want to keep your character like anchored around there, so it's not like the character's moving all over the place unless you want them to be walking or doing something like that. I right click the slide and I can duplicate. On the next slide, I can like raise the eyebrows, for instance. And I can edit the points even. While seeing that too, maybe like a black circle right behind these guys would work best. So right click, format shape, fill. This time I'm going to do a solid one, just do black. I'm going to right click and send this. If I right click, I can send backward, which is only like layers back. Send to back goes all the way back. If I did that, I'd have to select those other two layers and then send those to the back. Duplicate that again. Maybe I'll make the nose get larger. And the pupils. If something is grouped, you can double click and kind of like edit individual shapes. So you can see how that animates. So we just have that. Once you're done, before we export, we can just, delete these. And to export this, I just go up to the start menu, save as. I can do other formats. Choose JPEGs. I'll save it to my desktop. Save. It'll say every slide or only the current slide. I want to choose every slide. Now they all just got exported. So let me see, I think MySpace GIF Maker. If we Google MySpace GIF Maker, I know it just is like the first result. Let me go to there. Here we can, and I'll go step by step after I just give exactly how this works. You choose the size for your actual GIF to be rendered. The speed. Default is 500 milliseconds. If it, once you get the end result, if it's going too fast or too slow, you can just redo the steps and adjust. Here we'll add the pictures, so I'll just navigate to desktop. I will find the animation, the lessons cartooning. Okay, so exports is the same name as your PowerPoint. And I can hold down Control and left click all of these, and then open, and then upload. So those three will upload, and then I can click submit. And if for any reason you upload them in the wrong order, you can drag and drop and change them around. So now I'll click submit. Okay, uploaded, critical error. I think it's because I uploaded it twice. There we go. It's starting. The GIF is made, and there it is. So now it's something I can embed into a website. And to download it, they have a download right here. Download button. So let me, anyone have any questions on those steps?
At least me.
Jesus, is it okay if I pass the ball back to you and walk you through those steps, unless anyone else wants to?
Sorry?
Would you be okay with me passing the ball back to you and then having you go through those steps and everyone follow along?
Yes, I think it's okay.
Alright, thanks.
Okay. I have to do the same thing you did, right?
Yes. So basically, you can duplicate your character, maybe add in a few more features, and then, once you have a few more features, you just copy and paste the slide, and then you can move around the eyes, the mouth, the nose, and stuff like that. And feel free if you want to add in like any body or anything you can.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Like that. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It's going to be really simple. Is that okay?
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Okay. I forgot how to read them out. Oh. Yes.
Right. Yeah, that'll move around the animation. So guys, as Jesus is doing this, try and create your own character, and make it in a way that you can move around the shapes and stuff like that. Remember, giving it a cool 3D effect. You can use borders to separate, drop shadows. You can use the vector drawing tool to make unique shapes you can't get just from the shape menu. And once you have it set up, you can just copy and paste that, duplicate the slide, move around like the mouth, the eyes, and then we can export that as a GIF.
I do it like a GIF.
Okay, so you said you're ready to try and export it? That's what you said.
Okay, I think that's it.
Okay. So to export this, what you want to do, I think your version of Office is different, but if you go to File, Save As, um, oh, that's, I don't speak Spanish, that's why. It's probably the same. Alright, and then where it
Like that?
says Type, if you select JPG,
Ah,
JPEG,
which one?
JPEG. It might be, let's see, down, okay, it's closer to the bottom. Yeah, that one. Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when you save that, it's gonna ask if you want to export every slide. You want to say yes.
Okay, that's it.
Alright. Then I'm gonna put it in the chat box just so you can copy and paste. But if you Google
Okay.
search MySpace GIF Maker, the first result that pops up should be the right one. Actually, let me put that in the link too.
Okay, then I go to the chat.
Oh, alright.
The first one?
Yes. Okay, so the next step, what you want to do is animated GIF Maker, number 2. So if you look down near the bottom of your screen, it says the green circle with the number 2 next to it. Not the bottom of the page. Yeah,
There?
perfect. Yes.
Okay, de aquí add.
Yes. And then you want to navigate to the folder, which might be the desktop or yeah, documents, wherever you.
Right. Oops. I did it wrong. Going to the documents. It has to be like GPG, right?
Yeah, there should be a folder when you selected .jpg. Oh no, you won't have to rename the file. See if on your desktop or in your documents there's a folder called Presentation 1. Or
It's in desktop. I think.
there should be like a folder. Is that the... Okay, so it only exported one image, I think. So what you have to do is go back into PowerPoint.
Okay. Oh, rayos. I did it wrong. Sorry.
Oh
I'm
no,
going
no
to correct
problem,
it.
no pressure. I've done that before too. Like I'm in a file uploader, and then I go to try and open a file to preview it, and then it uploads, and I'm like, huh, that's not what I meant. That happens to me almost daily.
Okay. Sorry, I got lost. I have here my presentation.
Okay, so you just
Now
wanna
I
go to File, Save As.
save as in documents or in desktop.
It doesn't matter, but the thing that desktop or documents, as long as we just go back there, where it says type, you want to choose .jpg, which last time I know you did, but when it's gonna ask you, do you want to export every slide or only one slide, the current slide? So click on that and then save. And when that pop-up happens, choose every slide, all of them.
Every slide.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. It's already.
And then go back to the MySpace GIF maker in your browser.
Okay, here it is. I have it here.
Do you use Opera? Yeah. Cool. I actually never used that browser. I've heard of it though.
Here it is.
Alright, so now you can hold down Control and then click Alt. Oh, that actually works perfect. Click Open.
Submit.
Yes.
Or okay, submit.
Upload. Upload on the right side. You see where it says 0/0? Yeah.
Okay,
Hit that
okay.
step. Sorry about that. And then click Submit. Alright, now if you scroll
Download
down,
you?
you'll see your GIF.
Okay.
And you can download it and use it however you want. Okay, so that's perfect. If you could pass me back the file. Does anyone have any questions on those steps? How to get that result?
I am okay. Where are you?
DIY admin at the top, which is admin
Host?
probably. Host, yeah.
Okay, there it is.
Thank you. Oh yeah, when John left from the host again, so I can just grab that all back whenever I need it. Alright. Thank you very much for sharing your screen. So if during the week, if you guys at all get confused, like forget a step or something, this is going to be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So I'll make sure I send that link out after the workshop. I'll upload it and get that to you guys during the week. To show you guys how that actually gets embedded inside of a website. Let me download mine. Let's see where I see one of these tabs. Okay, so I'm gonna download mine. I already did. Okay, perfect. Let me get that from the folder. I only have a few things open. Alright, and I'm gonna make a folder on my desktop. And I'm just gonna call it root. Inside of root, I'm gonna drag and drop this character. I'm gonna rename it animated dash GIF. And I might even want to go so far to like once I actually have a real animation set up besides just this quick little thing, actually name it more specific for the sake of, I think we mentioned last week, we have a strict file naming convention where we only use lowercase letters and dashes. Because if you named it something like animated underscore space underscore space GIF, if that was what you named it, and then inside your code you spelt it like this, it's the wrong number of spaces. Underscores sometimes get lost, so you might forget underscore, and the capitals actually matter, like in passwords. So on your website, you're just gonna get a giant red X saying it's not there. So just as an example, let me code something really quick. We have templates that have this already set up, so that you don't have to worry about remembering all this. For all websites, start with HTML, a head tag. That's where you would only put the title, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just doing this quick, the bare basics. So I can save this as inside my folder. Navigate to the root folder. I can call this index.html. And inside of this folder, I also want an image folder. Images. I'm going to drag and drop that. I'm going to rename this. It's just animated GIF. Alright, if I open this, this was the text file I was just working on. Now it opens inside of Chrome. So I saved it as .html. If you're on a Mac, sometimes it gets a little bit more confusing because the Mac's text editor doesn't save straight to like .html. It will just show up as the text. But we have documentation on the website and like tutorials and stuff on how to fix that. So if anyone's a Mac user and when we get to this stuff together, if you have any trouble, let me know. So now back inside of here, I'm going to add in this animation. IMG means image. SRC is the actual source of the image. Because it's already in this folder, now I have to look in the images folder, the file name, the file extension, .gif, that's in quotations. You set the width, so let's say let's do like 400 pixels. Height, which I'll set to auto. If I save that and refresh this page, I now have my animation on an actual, HTML file. So on the Build It Yourself site, we have template files. So if we go to buildityourself.com or build-it-yourself.com and we go to missions, then we go to computer programming. I'll put all the stuff in the email along with that video during the week. Web design. If you scroll down, you'll see you'll need. So that's just missions. You go to computer programming and select web design. These are all different template files. So when we start teaching web design, we know it's a lot of code, it's a lot of typing. So to make it easier to understand, the first thing we do is a title page template, which is basically just a few links, images, and like a little bit of text. So the way we actually will save this is we right click and we go to view page source. Or depending on the browser, sometimes you have to go down to like tools. Let's see. More tools. View source. I think Internet Explorer might just be like page source or something. And that just gives us all the code. You can select all this code, right click it and copy. Go into the notepad document and paste it. So I'm just showing you guys these steps, and I'm going to pass the ball to one of you guys to kind of go through this and see if you can get this source code working. And I'm just going to click save. It's already saved as .html, the file. If it wasn't, what I'd want to do is go to File, Save As, go to my folder, and I want to name it again, like index.html. And I'll replace it. Once you saved it once as .html, you can just hit Control S or just File Save, and it will always save as a website file. So let me close this. If I refresh this, now you'll see it looks just like that other page. It's the same exact code, and if we go into that file, we'll see things that we can change. For instance, let me this font a little smaller. So like body color gray, I can make this pink just by typing in pink and saving it. If I want to change the navigation size, as we go through, you'll see like font. So navigation, this is a comment. Font, face, Times New Roman, size. I can put 5. gets larger. If we keep going down, we'll see another comment. Insert in a picture. Comments defined with a caret, exclamation point, and dashes, and they're closed with 2 dashes and a caret. So whatever you type in between will not show up on the site. Like for instance, I type in I'm hidden there, and then like I show up. Now I refresh this. You see I show up, but I'm hidden isn't there, because that's inside the comment. Comments are there for developers to know what's going on. You see you have the images folder defined, images slash, which is pretty standard. So inside your main folder you want an image folder. But this file, if we go into that folder, doesn't exist. Thanks, Daniel. That actually makes life a lot easier. I actually need that again as well. So if I right click this image, I can save image as, go into that root folder, go into images, and for some reason I think I clicked on another file because it swapped out the name, but if I go into the code, I'll see what the file should be named. head-turnip.jpg. So if I just copy the name part, not the extension, and save that, that's the one on mine. This is the one I'm working on. If I refresh this, now you see the image. Swap out that image, I can just put animated-gif. And then if I save that, it's not going to work because .jpg, I need .gif. See, it's a little squished. That's because the width and height are defined. Leaving height auto is usually pretty useful. And then width, set it to the width you'd want. Okay, I see Jesus has to leave. Thank you for joining, and thanks for your help with sharing the screen. So what I want you guys to do, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna go through step by step so you guys can follow along now. You're welcome, Jesus. If you guys can open up Notepad, and if you're not on a Windows computer, I think it's like text edit. And when you open up Notepad, I'll do a blank one as well. All these things again. You want to make a folder called root. Eventually, if you have multiple websites and you're naming them, you can always just put them in like folders and have them as subfolders. So I'm going to delete my root folder just so I can go step by step with you guys. So I have my blank Notepad file. I'm going to right click on my desktop, make a new folder, and just title it root. It's okay if this is in your documents or inside another folder. Just put it somewhere where you know you won't delete it and you can find it, every week. So, stop me if you guys need more time as I go through. I'll leave like a little break each step. So now we want to take a blank document and we want to paste some source code into it. So the link that Daniel put in the chat box, which if I'm sharing my screen and you went full screen, you can just shrink the screen back down, or on the top, if you move your mouse to the top of the screen, you'll see chat and you can still get it as a window. This little box moving around might show up as a black box on your screen. That's the chat. It's a floating window. You can find the link, and when you're there, you can just right click and view page source. Each browser is slightly different in what they call it, but you'll probably see like source code, page source, view page source, something like that. And if you can't find it by right clicking, there's probably a menu or like a gear icon for a menu, like the settings or something. And you'll see something similar to like saying tools, and then you'll find the view source. When you click that, the source code is going to pop out. So, what you want to do with this code, I'll just right click, view page source. That works as well. You want to select it all. Just highlight, go with your mouse cursor, left click at the bottom, highlight all the text, right click, copy, go into your notepad file, paste. Control V or edit, paste, right click, paste. Alright, so from there, I'll give you guys maybe like 30 seconds, a minute. If you need more, just tell me to stop. Now when you save the file name, make sure you do .html. Anything else will show up as text, and I'll show you. Save as, I have my root folder. If I call this index and I don't specify it's .html, this is what happens. I go to my folder, I see a document icon instead of a Internet Explorer or Chrome icon. If I open it, it opens up as text. But when I go to File, Save As, and I do index.html, you'll see that it's an HTML document. Delete this one. And when I open it, now it opens up just like that other page. But it's going to have a broken link for the image. So remember, just let me know if you guys have any questions. From here, we notice there's a broken link, so we have to find out why. If we go into the code and scroll down, you'll see eventually, okay, I need to shrink my font size, it's too large for doing a line break, I think. Oh, sometimes your code may get like reformatted depending on where you copy and paste from. This is oddly shaped code, so let me see if I can figure out why that happened and just get it cleaner. It works fine, but it's just tough to look at. So if I hit Control C, Control V, that worked better. Maybe it was because I right-clicked and copied and pasted. No, I'll save that. That's easier to look at. If your code ever gets messed up and you have like random spaces, as you learn more about HTML, it's really easy just to backspace and get it back together, right? But when you go to edit, it's so much easier just to skim, see a comment like insert in picture, and then you see where the picture should be. From looking at this, I know it's inside a folder called images because of folder name and then a slash. So if I had 5 folders, images /1/2/some folder, the slash means there's a folder. And then head-turnip.jpg. I don't even care about getting that picture in there, but I'd rather use my animation. But for the sake of showing you guys how to do this, let's do this step by step just to make sure you guys get that. I'm going to right click this guy off the Build It Yourself site, save image as, go to desktop, and find my root folder. In here, I'm just going to save this. Now you'll see first problem with this is the name is crazy. If I refresh mine, still not going to show up. Now I know from the source code it's looking for head-turnip. I can copy that text and rename my file. Will it show up yet? Still not, because there's no image folder. So I can make a new folder, call it images, and drag and drop this, and refresh that, and now I have my image. So last thing I'll do, because it's coming to the end of the hour, is inside that index file. I'm gonna copy and I'll just paste insert an image again. But this time I'm gonna do animated dash gif dot gif. Save that. And I'm gonna drag and drop that into my image folder. And now we'll see two images. Now, just as an example with multiple folders, say I wanted, JPEGs in one folder and GIFs in another folder for some reason, for some, structure. Maybe animations are on a totally different, page and it gets confused when they're mixed. If I do this and save it, these are both gone. To correct that in the code, that's wrong code. To correct that in the code, I can just do /jpg / for this one, and on this one do GIF. And now that works. Alright, so do you guys have any questions or feedback? Is anything confusing or could be better? You guys were mostly quiet, so I'm guessing you guys just followed along, but let me know if you have any suggestions.
How many? Oh, you first.
My computer screen got a little messed up, and now I'm all confused here.
Alright, what I'm gonna do is I record this whole webcast, so I can send you the YouTube link, and then you can any part you missed you can look at again, and I can also send you like exact directions like to follow along. Would that help you?
Yeah, I'll just look at the YouTube thing.
All right, and if you have a few minutes after the webcast, I can kind of like go back through real quick, if that would be useful too.
Yeah.
All right, and Mario, were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah. Do you know how many pictures, JPG pictures, can I upload to make my GIF?
Now, that's a good question. I've never tried so many that it stopped me. I'm guessing you can do close to as many as you want, if not as many as you want. But when you're making a website, one of the things to remember is the larger the file, the slower it's going to load. So if somebody's on a mobile phone and they only have a 3G signal and they're looking at your personal site, if you have like a 10 megabyte or 20 megabyte file, it might take them like a few minutes to open your website. If you're doing it just for the fun, like say you want to make a comic book and have fun and like show your friends on your computer, have no fear about how big the file is. But for a website, I would say try and keep it to the end result being a few megabytes max, maybe less than that. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So it's unlimited, just depends on the context you want to use the application. Anybody else have any? Oh, Daniel.
Yeah. Hi. Well, I like to add. I look for that question in the page, and it says here. Says animated GIF maker. Take up to 15 images located on your computer.
Oh, all right. Thanks very much for checking that out real quick. Okay, so I guess Mario, my answer was wrong. It's 15. If you
15.
do wind up with more than 15 images, there's a tool called the GIMP that we didn't use today, but it's basically a free version of Photoshop. I'll put a link to that in the chat box, the actual program, and we will get into it like later on in the program. And that one is pretty much on your computer and independent from any service. So let me paste this. Alright, yeah, it's very, very comparable to Photoshop. The menus are a little different, and there's like a few features missing. But it's a great tool. Alright, thanks, Daniel. Alright, so no other questions?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Alright, so I'll see you guys next week. And if you have any questions during the week or time to work on this, feel free to send updates. And if you run into any problems, we'll try and help you through email. See you guys next week. And Leland, you can stay on, and I'll run through it with you again real quick.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.